Welcome to Bali International Convention Center. You are now at ground floor. In case of any emergency, we are going to inform you using our public announcement system.
Your attention, ladies and gentlemen. This is an emergency announcement.
In case of any emergency, we ask you not to panic, not to run, not to use elevator. In case of fire emergency, then we will take you out to the flagpoles area near the parking lot. In case of earthquake emergency, during the shaking, we ask you to do drop, cover and hold procedure until the shaking stops. If evacuation is needed, we will take you out to the flagpoles area near the parking lot. In case of tsunami emergency, when we receive tsunami warning, we will take you back inside the building. Then we take you up to the second and higher floor. Thank you for your attention.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. So thank you for coming. Thank you for our honorable speakers and our honorable attendees here. So welcome to the side event of high-level forum on multi-stakeholders partnerships, strengthening multi-stakeholders partnerships for development towards a transformative change with the theme innovative financing and policy solutions for a just energy transition in the global south. So this is running with a collaboration of Indef and also Bappenas, and as the part of the main event, as the side event of this whole event from 1st until 3rd September in Bali. So I don't think that I should introduce the speakers because we already we already see from the presentation before. So I am Mirah Midadan Fahmid. I am also the Economist from Indef, and I'm being a moderator for today's session. So let me do this forum with the semi-formal or more likely into talk show format. So we are talking more about the innovative financing and also the policy in just energy transition. So the heavy of this theme is the energy transition, as we know that energy transition is a global issue, and also we face a lot of challenge how to implement this in Indonesia and also in global. So there must be like so many challenges, and also as well as the potential that we can get from the energy transition. But Indonesia and other countries, of course, facing different challenges with different potential, with different benefits. So through this forum, I guess what we hope is we're gonna get the new perspective, new insights from our distinguished speakers. We have Bapak Drajad Wibowo as the economist from Indef, and also Lusianna, Ester, Bapak Refi, Prof. Uli, and also Mr. Renato, together with us here, both as we are in here physically and also with the Zoom, with our distinguished speakers, I guess 3 people in Zoom. So to make it more compact and also like to be efficient, maybe I can invite Bapak Drajad Wibowo dan Bapak Refi to come into the stage. And also I wanna, yeah, please, thank you for coming. And also I want to greet our speakers in Zoom. Maybe, oh, okay. We are not complete yet. Okay, so let me do from Bapak Drajad Wibowo first as the economist of Indef, the senior economist of Indef. So Pak Drajad, how are you? Okay. Okay, we have.
Okay, Mbak Mimi. Good,
okay,
thanks.
we have Ibu Lusianna. Hello. Hello, how are you, Ibu?
I'm good today, thank you.
Okay, nice to meet you. And also we have Mr. Red.
Yes,
Yeah.
selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi. Thank you for joining with us. So, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Okay, what time there?
Same as yours.
Okay, good. So actually, so that's not that really morning there. So not disturbing your sleeping time or breaking time there. So yeah, we are. Sorry. No slides. Yeah. Because we have in the talk show. We are in talk show format, so we don't have slides. We don't have like PPT format from the speakers. So Pak Drajad, we are talking about transition energy. But before talk about transition energy, there is an issue earlier about the green energy. So maybe we are here is just like new as me about the transition energy. So please let us know about the green energy first. So what is the green energy and how does it work? And how does the green energy could imply the economic growth in a country or especially in Indonesia?
Yeah, thank you, Mbak Mimi, and hello everyone. Hello, my colleague speakers. Well, green energy is a must for not only for Indonesia but also for the world, because we can no longer depend solely on unsustainable energy, on fossil fuel, despite the fact that fossil fuel and fossil energy resources are still abundantly available in some part of the world. Why? Because we understand that we need to clean up our economy. We need to be able, as a citizen of the world, all of us need to be able to control the rising temperature that now is getting more and more serious. And we have seen the impact of rising global temperature in the world. And I don't want to go into details. Every one of you are already aware of it. So it is a must. But The problem is, it is a big challenge. And to some degree, it might affect economic efficiency in some country if we only see it in a short-term perspective. Take, for example, Indonesia. More than 50% of our our energy sources coming from for our electricity generation come from dirty energy, come from coal, and we have abundant coal resources here in Indonesia, and many of the resources are still untapped. And it will be a big challenge for a country like Indonesia to save from coal and oil. Well, we have passed our oil bonanza, but for coal mining, it will be a big challenge. That's why our program of retiring coal-based energy, coal-based power generator in Indonesia take a little bit longer than we would like to see. It's a big challenge because clean energy, to some degree, still more expensive financially for most corporations. Can give you example of geothermal. Indonesia is Indonesia has the second largest resources of geothermal in the world. But at the moment, geothermal is still around 50 to 60% more expensive per kilowatt hours compared to coal-based power. In the future administration, Pak Prabowo has already said that Indonesia will need to expedite our green energy transition. The plan is to develop biofuel based on agriculture, based on farm produces. And we have identified several commodities to be our priorities: sugarcane, cassava, and of course palm oil. But still, in order for countries like Indonesia to be able to save from coal into biodiesels, there are lots of homeworks need to be done. And one of them, of course, finance. As I indicated earlier, clean energy to some degree tends to be more expensive to some degree, either from geothermal, either from other sources. The solar energy, it's okay, but there are some technical issues in adopting solar energy for all parts of Indonesia. So me, as part of Pak Prabowo's team, expert team, we devised a number of financial innovations, I would call it, in order to enable our private sectors and mostly private sectors to be able to finance it in not only sustainable way but also in economically competitive way. Okay. This will include securitization of carbon-based programs, and this will include a number of options. But the banking industries at the moment are still wary of going too much into clean energy. So I understand there are many challenges, and it's not easy one. But I believe the Pak Jokowi's administration and the future administration will deal more seriously with this transition. But it is a must. We have to do it. Yeah. Thank you.
We really appreciate the willingness to have like transition energy, Pak Drajad. But the basic, maybe like this is a very common question for public. What is the impact to our economic growth? Is it, I mean, okay, as we all know that shifting or changing, let's say changing the plant generation from dirty one to the cleaner one is totally expensive. We need capital intensive there, huge capital intensive. So how does it work to our economic growth? How does this point, how does this path could imply positively to our economic growth? Maybe you can share as as your point of view as the economist.
We have run a simulation. If we are talking a little bit longer run, the net impact will be positive. But if we are only talking about shorter run, takes for example 2-3 years, the impact to some degree might be a little bit subduing, a little bit negative to our baseline growth. But what we are doing is now we are trying to devise some policy so that this so-called potentially negative impact can be compensated. And at the moment, it is still not completed the exercises, but me myself, I'm very confident that we will find some breakthrough programs in order to do so. I can give you some applicable or concrete examples. For example, with geothermal, we've been working with Pertamina in order to bring down the unit price of geothermal so that it will be more competitive to coal-based power generation. And if we are able to bring down the unit price, say for example by 20 to 25%, we see the indication that Indonesia will be able to absorb it and actually will be able to generate more income from carbon trading from this shift to geothermal energy. You know, when people talking only about geothermal, we are not talking only about, we talk mostly about the cost. But if we combine it with carbon trading, which the government already prepare necessary legal basis for future carbon trading in Indonesia, then if we combine it, then the overall picture will be more encouraging. But of course, we need to test it in the market. But still, I just wrote this morning into our expert panel WhatsApp group within the Prabowo Gibran's camp. I said that one key that we need to keep in mind is that we need to be able to develop an internationally acceptable standard of sustainability of green something that's called green, because without the standard, then we won't be able to sell the any financial instrument that we devise based on carbon trading. So I can give you example later on how compliance to internationally acceptable standard can actually bring not only growth but also financial profit for companies involved. It's my own experience because I'm a member, board member of PFC. PFC is a program for in the endorsement of forest certification based in Geneva. Actually, I'm the founder of you can call it PFC Indonesia, but we call it IFCC. And our pulp and paper industries, before they got our certificate, they were actually being boycotted by the world. You can name it, from Barbie to Xerox to LV, every global brands, big global brands, they boycott. They don't want to buy Indonesian pulp and paper produces. But after some transformation, and then after they got our certificate, because our certificate is actually the largest global forest certification scheme, they got accepted. Every big brand, Apple, Samsung, you name it, every big brand are willing to buy it because they got the logo. So actually, one of the homeworks that we need to develop is not only to devise financial instrument or financial engineering necessary to finance the transition, but also to have an internationally acceptable standard. We don't want to repeat our mistakes. Maybe it's too harsh to say mistakes. We don't want to repeat something that already happened in our scheme in other sectors. Sorry, I cannot say that in public. The ministers are my friends.
Okay, thank you, Pak Drajad. So, because you mentioned that yourself is involved into the success team for the elected president. So, talking about the transition energy, it is a very complex issue. So, we're gonna talk about from the economics view. We are also talking from the technical view. Also, we should talk from the policy. So, we already knew that the financing one is a challenge. Is one challenge. Gain the capital, gain the investor is another challenge. So, how Indonesia in the next, let's say in the next period, after 20 October, would arrange the innovative or incentive maybe, or maybe what kind of breakthrough that our government would release in order to successing this transition energy. Because as we know that Indonesia have a goal to have the net zero emission in 2060. Now is 2024. So it's close to 2060, and we don't have the roadmap, the clear roadmap, the complex roadmap. So there are so many challenges, but the potential is also in front of us. So what our government gonna do? What the incentive maybe, or maybe like the plan to maybe the policy, because the policy is making the strong point here.
One thing that I haven't elaborated is that we need international cooperations as well, not only B2B but mostly G2G, and that's why we work with European, with the EC. We will work also with, of course, with our colleagues from America and from other countries, and because most of financing will come from a global capital market, and without that corporations, and especially without the acceptance of the scheme, it will be very hard for our business entities to sell any financial instruments to the market. But in order to be able to do it, then our central banks need to work with the other government central banks. That's why Bank of Indonesia and OJK, our financial supervision authority, they have a green map, not only for sustainable resources but also for energy transition. And with our colleague from the Philippines, I think I would love to learn how the Philippines government plan to broaden, to enhance international cooperations in this transition, because we cannot do it alone. There are many reasons, but one of the key reasons is because at the moment it is not financially attractive to save from coal power generation to as I said, geothermal and other clean power generation. So we have to do it together. I think that's very important, and I would love to learn from our colleagues from Latin America and also from the Philippines.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pak Drajad. So we are moving to Miss Lusianna Ester. Are you still with us, Ibu Lusianna?
Ya, Mbak.
Halo. Okay, so Miss Lusianna Ester as the VP Corporate Finance in PLN Nusantara Power.
Yeah.
So, because you are from the PLN Nusantara Power, so maybe we can see from the business side, more heavier from the business side. So, what is the challenge? So, during this transition energy, what are the challenges to implement this from the business sector first, maybe?
Okay, thank you, Mbak. Okay. As you know, PLN Nusantara Power is a subholding of PLN, ya. And PLN as state electricity company must participate in the development of power plants according to RUPTL, ya. So PLN through its subholding PLN Nusantara Power and PLN Indonesia Power participate in development power plants in RUPTL, ya. As we know, in RUPTL, the status of developer of generation plant is IPP and also 100 by PLN. So we are as a subholding of PLN. Based on RUPTL 2021 and 2030, PLN Nusantara Power already get assignment to develop about 6.3 gigawatt new power plant, that most of which are renewable energy. We are currently in construction development of IKM solar power plant 50 megawatt and Tanah Laut wind power plant, which is part of this 6.3 gigawatt assignment. If you ask about the issue, about the development of renewable energy, especially in power plant, first is must be tariff, with tariff restriction based on presidential regulation 112, it is actually not attractive, for investors, because of course the margins will be small, and then we need this issue to government to providing fair economic value both for investor and for the continuity of electricity supply by the state electricity company. And the second, overall ease of licensing by the central government and or regional government, not only in processing permits at the initial stage, but also from the construction stage up to the operating period. And last one is of obtaining tax holiday facilities. I think that's the most issue that we often face when we develop renewable energy.
Thank you. So, okay, that's from the financial one, but is it, because we know that Indonesia with this geographical, with the so many islands, and then it's maybe not every island have like the potential of renewable energy resources to be converted into the electricity. So maybe from the financial sector or maybe as the business sector that run from that issue, how does this challenging could be could be eliminated the challenge as from the geographical one, from the sources from the renewable energy sources, and then maybe like, do you need or maybe if you have an example, real example from the financial one, how to financially this transition energy, this transition path that maybe we can apply into all region in Indonesia.
Yeah, okay. The first requirement of the feasibility of project is, I think geographical issue is important, yeah. So when we initiate a project to develop a power plant, we must conduct a feasibility study. So from the feasibility study, we will know that when we is it feasible to build a solar power plant or wind power plant in that region, yeah? Because it will affect the revenue that we'll get of a project company. It is affect how we will get the lender, because if the project not feasible or the feasibility study say that we cannot build solar power plant or wind power plant in this region, lender will not give the money to us. Yeah. So feasibility study is the key when we will initiate the project, yeah, to develop power plant.
Okay, so maybe I can move to Pak Refi. Pak Refi, as a managing director Akuo Energy, so maybe we should learn about your experiences. So how the experience from Akuo in transition energy, especially in global south countries. So maybe we can learn a lot, and maybe some learning points maybe we can apply in Indonesia. Maybe you can share a bit about your experience in Akuo.
Yeah, thank you, Mbak Mimi. So everyone, Akuo, we are the multinational company. We headquartered in Paris, France. So our business is to develop, finance, build, and then own and operate renewable energy power plant. The company built back in 2003. 2007, and then until now we've been investing for more than $3 billion US in building close to 2,000 megawatts / 2 gigawatt of renewable energy asset, mostly only in wind, solar, and energy storage. In the global south context, we presence in quite active actually from Latin America, the Caribbean. I mean, in Latin America we have project in operations in Uruguay, Chile recently, as well as in Colombia. Caribbean, Republic Dominica. In Africa, we are quite active in the western part of Africa, in Mali. And then in Oceania, we have project in New Caledonia and New Zealand, of course, in Indonesia. We've been in the market for more than 10 years now in Indonesia. Bu Lucy is one of our partner, basically, as the single off-taker for the electricity in Indonesia for renewable energy. So if we learn from this global south on how we could eventually, for example, I take the example in Africa, in Mali, we built the project of solar PV 50 megawatt in Mali. It was financed by West African Development Bank. It was several banks actually supporting this project, and then there is a Dutch FMO. There is also part of Constantino from the EI, the Emerging Africa Infrastructure Fund, EIF, that is also supporting this project. And then those people, normally, you are correct that it is more difficult actually to fundraising in the project in the global south context compared to the OECD type of country, because the perceived risk is higher. We talk about the political risk, we talk about the certainty, we talk about currency. Even the issue of security in the context of Mali was a bit serious for us. So yeah, the day to develop the project, we took a lot of risks, and then to finally finance the project, it's another game actually. So we need to really navigate all the complexity in the global south context. But however, I think so long that the government is providing clear support to the project, they're giving the guarantee in terms of payment, right? Because if it is purely private sector, when the off-taker is not even meeting the BBB minus investment grade limitations, I think that will be difficult for us and even for the lenders. And then to have also strong sponsor, in this case, we are the sponsor of the project. We co-funded, we invite the minority shareholder, subsidiary of fund manager, subsidiary of Trafigura actually on this Mali project. So yeah, we kind of combine all the expertise, all the people to make sure that people is comfortable, even when they need to mobilize the capital, both on the debt side or on the equity side, they know that they will get a return that is, we call it the risk-adjusted return, right? So if in OECD country, people are happy with, I don't know, 4, 5, 6%, of course, in Mali, we cannot invest with the equity IRR of like single digit. So, and the same things will happen in each of the country that we invest. We will focus on this finding this fine-tune between the risk perceptions and then the reward or return profile that we're expecting. Mbak Mimi.
Thank you so much. So the financial challenges that you already or Akuo already faced before during or in Indonesia during 10 years last 10 years. So is it possible to apply all those like the partnership financing and so on in Indonesia as like you know how Indonesia, how the market in Indonesia, how the political supports and so on, so many external variables happen in Indonesia. So is it possible to apply in Indonesia that kind of strategy?
I think it's always possible, right? I mean, the money is there, the capital is abundantly available, right? Now the question is like how we could eventually channel those money, those capital to Indonesia to support the government of Indonesia energy transitions agenda, right? And I'm really happy actually when Pak Drajad said that it is the commitment of the president-elect to really like fasten to like go faster on the energy transitions. This is something that we are waiting for some times now. And yeah, I do believe that with such commitment from the government, and then Bu Lucy talking about the RUPTL, the last RUPTL is 10 years development planning of PLN. I mean, for you who is not familiar with the PLN model, it's like PDP in Vietnam. If there is people from Vietnam here, the power development plan of EVN. So PLN every year they're updating their RUPTL, like 10 years planning. And then even in the draft of the upcoming RUPTL 2024-2033, it has not been signed by the Minister of Energy yet, but it is mentions that the renewable energy will comprise of like 75% of the upcoming new generation. So it is a market for everybody.
Yeah.
Now it's back to the fundamental questions, right? How government, in this case represented by PLN, can be disciplined, right? in the materializing, can be committed to materializing what it is mentioned in the RUPTL, right? Because at the end, this is planning, and then execution is something else, right? And there is always the problem, the mismatch. The biggest mismatch is on the planning and execution. So I think if PLN and their subholdings, in this case Nusantara Power, Indonesia Power, is very disciplined in executing those what are written already under UPTL, capital will follow. I don't see any problem to mobilize capital actually for Indonesia. PLN is investment grade. We are comfortable with PLN. The banks are comfortable with PLN. The PPA is bankable. So it's just the matters to find the.
It is the matters of the political willingness.
The projects,
The projects. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for
and
the
with Pak Drajad here, I think problem solved.
Amin. Okay, thank you. So I'm moving to Prof. Uli. Hello, Prof. Uli.
Hi, hello from Singapore.
Thank you for joining us. So, Prof. Uli, how are you? You good?
Sorry?
How are you? You good? You're
I'm
feeling good,
yeah.
yeah?
I wish I could be with you in person, but next time.
Okay, so Prof. Uli, we have talked a lot about the transition energy, especially what happened in global and also in Indonesia, and then we find that the financing is one of the obstacle here. Not really obstacle, a challenge. It's a challenge here. So the creative financing way is needed here, and also as I mentioned lastly, that political willingness play a huge role also. So Prof. Uli, what is the challenge to integrate actually the climate risk into the financial institution? How we could integrate them into the financial institution, and then how does this integration could minimize the problems that happen today?
Yeah, I mean, one thing, of course, is it's clear that kind of we need action both on the real economy side, kind of policy frameworks and so on that are conducive to investments in just energy transitions, but getting the finance right is also vital. And here I think it's important to say that it's not necessarily a shortage of finance that is the problem, as was also mentioned by other panelists before, but really we need to align the financial system with the sustainability goals. And we should, first of all, recognize that for the time being, a lot of capital is flowing in the wrong direction. So it's flowing into still a lot of activities that are harmful to societies, that are harming the climate, that are harming the environment. Whereas we have too little capital flowing into areas where it's urgently needed. So what is needed is to really align the financial system. So we don't need to develop just kind of a little bit more green bond markets or whatever. We really need to mainstream sustainability, climate considerations in the financial sector. And for this, we need the institutions that are governing the financial system, which are central banks, supervisors, and it was mentioned before that in Indonesia, Bank Indonesia and OJK have already started working with this. Actually, I think more than almost 15 years ago, I started working with Bank Indonesia before OJK was split up on developing ideas for sustainable finance. And a lot has happened, but still a lot more needs to happen, and we really need to mainstream sustainability. And so you asked about risk, and it's indeed important, and a lot of work has been done, including in Indonesia and also elsewhere in ASEAN, for example, but also in Basel, for example, the Basel Banking Committee, on integrating climate and actually also broader environmental risks like nature, biodiversity risk into prudential regulation. And so right moves have been done, but we need much more. So we need really comprehensive reporting standards, mandatory reporting standards for environmental, climate-related risks and opportunities. We need things like climate stress testing. That's also something the Indonesian authorities and many other central bank supervisors are working on. And we really also need to get serious about kind of creating or kind of making it less attractive for financial institutions to finance the dirty stuff that is really harming our societies. So there is a big kind of financial governance agenda where central banks and supervisors need to step up further. But I'd like to highlight two other points that are very important, also relating to the availability of capital. And of course, the financing needs are particularly daunting in developing emerging economies. And we've been having extensive discussions about international climate finance, and it's been all a rather sad affair. We know that there's far too little international climate finance going into developing countries, and we need to work on that agenda, of course, but it's very important to highlight that for the time being, again, we have a lot of capital flowing in the wrong direction. So, for example, developing Asia, excluding China, is a net capital exporter. Yeah? I mean, this is really outrageous in many ways. You know, kind of capital should be flowing to developing countries to support sustainable investments, just transitions, and all that. But the problem is that a lot of the financial intermediation is actually outsourced to major financial centers in rich countries. And so it's important to really strengthen domestic financial resource mobilization so that domestic savings are channeled into climate and other sustainable investments domestically. This is a really important agenda, and I think there are a lot of exciting opportunities. I mean, in East Asia, Southeast Asia, a lot of work has been done on developing local capital markets. Indonesia also has done a lot of work on that. But there's still so much more to do, and I think a big opportunity lies actually in using digital technologies, fintech, to broaden participation in capital markets, to widen access. And there are some great examples. For example, the Monetary Authority of Singapore in beginning of last year, they issued on behalf of the Singaporean government a green infrastructure bond that people could purchase on their smartphone, at the ATM, or online in very small denominations. So really making these capital market investments accessible to wide part of the population, many of whom had never thought about, becoming investors in capital markets.
Yeah.
And so I think there are a lot of opportunities like that could be harnessed.
Yeah, so the bank play a great role here to gain the capital market. I have one question for you, Prof. Uli, but I should save my time, so maybe I should move into Mr. Red first. Okay, thank you for waiting us and hearing this discussion. So, Red, could you share with us your experience how the vulnerable countries or F20 have facing the transition energy? Maybe that is the first thing that we should know. How does they apply the transition energy first?
Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum. I'm part of the Independent Intergovernmental Climate Vulnerable Forum, and it's V20 group of finance ministers. We're headquartered in Accra, in Ghana, and we have 68 member governments, representing in total about 1.7 billion people. So that's a lot of, that's a big population that we put together. For us, it's about maximizing renewable energy wealth and the shared prosperity that our economies have in leveraging what we have in abundance. We have intrinsic links between reaching resilience that actually grow, as well as accelerate our contribution to global decarbonization. Both have to come together. This is the main story behind the work of CVF in V20 countries. It's about chasing resilience in our critical infrastructure, because doing so maximizes our renewable energy wealth and critical minerals. A massive amount of public resources are spent actually on fossil fuel subsidies, or in the absence of this, there are high costs for consumers and industry. It's why it's so important to enable climate leadership by economic managers. They understand the problem and they have the tools to navigate their way towards the main goal. They know that by accelerating the energy transition, countries will have more cash to use for infrastructure, health, education, livelihoods, support for small businesses, resources that are not going out of the country because we have stopped being dependent on importing fossil fuels or using it, which harms us. So energy security is enhanced, but it's also enhancing not just sovereignty, but national autonomy as well. And the modular, decentralized nature of renewable energy pump primes local economies. So we generate cash even as we save it. This is the idea behind our thrust. So our transition is further accelerated by the cost of solar and wind power, which keeps falling and falling and falling alongside the persistent inefficiencies of fossil fuels, where about 40% or higher of what we pay for is wasted through waste heat and also due to aging and soon obsolete technologies. For us, the question is not the landing zone. We know where it is. The big question is whether we can get there sooner so that our people can enjoy the benefits of prosperity and security far faster. The question now is how quickly we can leave behind harmful dependencies fostered by old fossil fuel lock-in models that have really failed in their promise to deliver electrification and low energy prices. Or if you subsidize them, then your economies bleed. For what? The reality is that the investment opportunity for resilient and sustainable energy systems, including transportation, across vulnerable countries is probably at least $500 billion over this decade. Now this one is what we really want.
Yeah, I agree with that. So then the question is, what is the role of bottom green planning by developing countries in order to achieve the sustainable development and economic prosperity? Because first, the very big question is when we go there, and then the bottom up to the green planning, then how our for the developing countries could achieve that. So the bottom up of the green planning, and then after the green planning, maybe they can turn into the transition, and then the ultimate goal is to achieve what you already mentioned, that about the wealth, the prosperity, and so on.
Is that a question to me or to others?
Yes, to you.
Sorry, what is the question then?
So what is the role of the bottom-up green planning? So the green planning for developing countries, what should they do actually?
Well, bottom-up green planning requires a lot of things, but the first thing that I think is going to be really important, especially when we talk about the climate crisis, is to recognize that we're also dealing with what I often call the Earth Summit hangover. In 1992, a long time ago, when the climate crisis was identified as a major threat to everyone's security, and the world gathered, but it treated climate change as an environmental problem. And up to now, we're dealing with this problem because the way we've tried to meet the climate crisis multilaterally is by coming together in the Conference of Parties, UNFCCC, but the representation is largely environment ministries or foreign affairs. This cannot hold anymore because a large part of the problems that we're facing is economic and financial in nature. And this is when economic managers need to take the lead because they understand the health of their economies relies on what Professor Uli had already said earlier. Stop exporting capital, use it for what you need, generate savings, prioritize not emissions reductions, but prioritize the social services that our people need. Because more often than not, when you build resilience in your macroeconomic fundamentals, you actually create the means by which you accelerate decarbonization. by ensuring that your infrastructure is resilient, by upgrading your supply chains, your food supply infrastructure, you end up pump priming your economies, and at the same time produce more jobs. And by doing that, because of harder decisions in the future, you actually build public ownership over climate action. Because the public needs to understand that climate action first addresses their needs, not emissions reductions per se, and they will realize that when their needs are met, the climate benefits are immense. Co-benefits. We produce first what our people need, and the globe actually, the world heaves a sigh of relief. Because the sooner we become resilient, the greater our contribution to global decarbonization. We speed things up faster. Development first, and by doing that, we assure that there are no trade-offs.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Fred. So I'm moving to the participants here. Maybe do you have any question to our? Okay, one here and two, and last one, third one. Can help this one first? Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm Ruspendi Junaidi. I am from University of Dianapura. My name is. I have two questions for Lusianna, Ibu Lusianna from PLN NP. What is the PLN Nusantara Power main strategy in supporting the energy transition in Indonesia? And the second, what initiative is PLN National Power taking to increase electricity generation efficiency and reduce carbon emission? And for Mrs. Drajad or Bapak Uli, so both you can, this is a question for Bapak Drajad and Bapak Uli. The first question is, what are the main challenges in implementing innovative finance scheme for energy transition projects in developing countries? And the second, what is the role of the private sector in providing innovative financing solution for a sustainable energy transition? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. For the next one, Bapak yang pakai baju batik in the second row.
Thank you for the opportunity. So my name is Dali. I'm working at a renewable energy developer. Just one question to Professor Volz. So Professor Volz said earlier that right now the capital flows into the wrong directions. Don't you think that that's just because how the money works, Professor Volz? The money will always go to the place that gives the highest return? And the second argument why people still invest in the fossil fuel asset is they need to diversify the risk across their portfolio. So yes, for example, yes, I'm gonna invest my money into the greener projects, but I will still hold my fossil fuel assets to diversify my risk in my portfolio. So that's the second argument. So what's your take on that, Professor Volz? Thank you.
Maybe we can hold first, and then the last question, and the second row, Ibu Baju Batik. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Nia, working for Indonesian Irwan Fund. Maybe the question for Pak Drajad and Bu Lucy from PLN. As you mentioned, Pak Drajad, that when government, let's say, decide to take energy transition, for example, like phasing down the fossil fuel power plant into renewable energy power plants. So as we know, and also you mentioned that it will give a positive impact in the long term, but in the short term, it still give negative impact. And we know when we take that decision, of course, we will give impact to the social, economic, and environment. And as we know as well that all economic activities still depend on the fossil fuel. So what do you think, what government should do in addressing negative impact during a transition energy period, and also maybe for the PLN as well, what the PLN can do during negative impact during the transition energy, should the government provide or increase more subsidies or maybe other strategy? Thank you.
Thank you. So we only have 5 minutes left. So maybe I can give first to Prof. Uli to maybe you can share your thoughts for the question for you, that especially for you.
Yeah, thank you. So Pak Dali asked about the capital flows in the wrong direction, and that this is what's expected. Capital goes to where it gets the highest returns. Well, actually, the highest returns are actually in developing countries. So the cost of capital in developing countries are much higher, which is actually a big problem for financing the energy transition. And the perverse situation is actually that we've seen massive capital flows from developing countries, for example, to the US, for example, into US treasuries, where returns are actually not high. I mean, they've risen, of course, more recently with interest rate increases, but so a lot of capital is actually flying into safe assets, which often provide relatively low returns. One of the major problems for most developing emerging countries is that there is a lack of relatively safe or safe assets that are perceived as safe. And that's where I think there is an important work to do. For example, I think public development banks can create new kind of assets, for example, by issuing local currency bonds, perhaps with support of MDBs, international DFIs, and so on, that are perceived as relatively safe, that deliver higher returns than what traditional bank deposits, for example, would pay. I think there's a huge agenda here in developing this. Second point Pak Dali raised was fossil fuel to diversify risk. Well, actually, the risk of investing in stranded assets is very high. So if we're serious about the energy transition, then we're going to see big devaluations of fossil-related assets. And that's exactly why central bank supervisors really need to make sure that financial institutions account for risks. And the problem is that the financial sector tends to have a rather short-term perspective, and longer-term risks are blended out. That's exactly why we need financial supervisors to be much more stringent on that. And then there was a question regarding role of private sector. Of course, private sector is key. We need private financial institutions to really get serious about financing sustainability activities, just transitions, and so on. That's why it's so important that we set the right frameworks, with the right incentives for private institutions to do the right thing, and indeed stop doing the wrong thing. And last point, major challenges. I think at a very high level, we are kind of aware of the solutions, we know what to do. One major challenge is indeed capacities at all levels. Really, capacity building in the private financial sector, also among central bank supervisors, Ministry of Finance, and so on, is really critical to really make everyone understand how to assess risks, how to assess opportunities, and how to develop good financing mechanisms. I could go on, but I won't. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Uli. Sorry, it was my bad that saying that we only have 5 minutes. Actually, we have like about 30 minutes left. My bad. I'm just seeing the timer in front of me. My bad. So actually, we can have like a bit discussion. Maybe, sir, sorry. Maybe if you have any like discussion with Prof. Uli, or is it enough? Okay, thank you. So, Pak Drajad, yeah, please.
Okay, thank you. I thought I only have few seconds because Professor Volz take all the 5 minutes. Good morning. It's early morning in Germany, I guess, yeah? Oh, in Singapore.
I'm in Singapore.
Oh, in Singapore. Okay, yeah. Okay. Well, number one, I will answer all of the three of you. Number one, Bu, it's politics. That's why we assign Pak Burhanuddin Abdullah as Bulusi chairman in order for PLN to be more how do I say it, progressive and faster for energy transition. And I agree with Pak Constantino. Mr. Constantino said that COPs have been done in such a way that it's too much on the environment and too much on the foreign relations. We need to bring COPs into mainstream economics, mainstream politics. So if people goes to COP, it's very important there, but within each other countries, they're not in the mainstream decision making. So we need to bring climate issues, COP, energy transitions, all those issues into mainstreams. And I think it's the homework. I think it is a homework for every country. So number one, that politically we need to bring energy transitions and other climate initiatives into mainstream political and economic discourses. Not only in Indonesia, but in many other countries. Singapore, they are way more advanced in that because they already bring that into the mainstream, and it already the people in general, they have already that in their mind. They have already environmental concern in their mind. Well, in our country, in Indonesia, people are not thinking much about environment, let alone talking about energy transition. Even talking about throwing rubbish properly, they don't see that as something important, because in their mind it's mostly how to make daily income to support their daily life. So we need to be able to bring that into mainstream political and economic decision. And number two, I think Pak, sorry Pak, I forgot your name, Pak Ruspendi. I think Pak Dali answer some of your questions, that monies will flow into portfolios where portfolio giving the highest returns. That's the nature of money. Now, with green energy or any green initiatives, at the moment, not all. I'm not saying everything, but not all give the highest return to the investment. So what we are devising now is that we combine both incentives and disincentives. Incentives for the flow of more investment into green initiatives. Disincentives for what Professor Volz say, the flow of investment, at least Indonesian investments, into dirty initiatives. We cannot put gun into their head. Hey, send the money here. No, we can't. So we need to devise that one, and we are now devising that. And Bappenas, I think in the next session, Bappenas is also preparing some plans to devise incentives and disincentives in order for the private sectors to be able to see that green investments are actually in their interest too financially. And that's why I talk about securitization. And that's why I talk about aligning green energy financing with carbon trading. Because if you only talking about green energy financing, it might be hard to combine disincentive and incentives. But if you align that with carbon trading, then it will open up a vast arrays of financial engineering, financial instruments that can be put into the initiatives. I think I would love to discuss in more detail, but it will be too technical. But there are lots of vast arrays of financial engineering options that we can do if we are able to align green financing, not only energy but anything green financing with carbon trading. Thank you. I will give the
Yeah.
opportunities to the
Thank you.
speakers. Thank you.
Ibu Lusianna, please.
Sorry, one more
Sorry.
thing, and also learning from Pak
Akuo.
Refi's stories, yeah, because that's what applicable in the field, and I think the government need to learn a lot from
Yeah,
your experience.
yeah.
Terima kasih.
Thank you. So please, Ibu Lusianna.
Okay, Mbak Mimi, thank you. So I think the first question is about main strategy of PLN-NP ya, to energy transition ya. PLN Nusantara Power own and manage power plant throughout Indonesia with total capacity 18,684 megawatt in 2023. Among that capacity, we have hydropower plant as our asset, full ownership, yeah, 100%, about 1,867 megawatt. Besides that, also PLN Nusantara Power has ownership in IPP with total capacity 5,785 megawatt, and among that we have hydropower plant about with capacity 510 megawatt, and solar power plant 150 megawatt, and wind power plant 70 megawatt. So that is our strategy, main strategy to energy transition. Yeah, we build. As I said before, we already get assignment to develop 6.3 gigawatt new power plant from based on RUPTL 2021 and 2030, and that most of which are renewable energy. Yeah, include IKN solar power plant and also Tanah Laut wind power plant, which is we are currently in construction. How about the initiative to reduce carbon? Yeah. The strategy of Nusantara, PLN Nusantara Power about reduce carbon is first we decrease consumption fossil or oil through dedesalination program, and second scale up biomass co-firing in our coal-fired power plant Nusantara Power, and then we also build ecosystem of biomass to ensure supply of the biomass for co-firing. And Mbak Mimi, I think last question ya, about what of support regarding the energy transition from that we need ya from Nusantara Power. First, attractive tariff ya for investor, that providing fair economic value both for investor and also for us Nusantara Power as representative of PLN, and then also is of license as permit ya by the central government and regional government, not only in processing permits at the initial stage but also from the construction stage up to operation period, and also tax holiday facilities, because this is tax holiday. It's very attractive for investor to invest in our development in power plant, particularly in renewable energy. I think that's Mbak Mimi from Nusantara.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, please. Thank you, Ibu Lucia. Yeah, please.
No, I think I just would like to add the context from the private sector, Prof. Drajad. Like the perceptions, the general perceptions of public is that renewable energy transition is expensive, right? But it is not really the case. I mean, for example, now if we compare the electricity generations from coal, it's roughly in the range between $40 to $65 per megawatt hour, so 4 to 6 cents per kilowatt hour, and then electricity from renewable energy, being solar PV or wind, it is on par already. So we are on the 4 to 6 cents per kilowatt hour. Maybe Bu Lucy can confirm like the tariff of the Tanah Laut project or IKN or recently Saguling and Cirata project, everything is on the range of the 4 to 6 cents per kilowatt hour. So in that sense, actually, renewable energy is already on par. Of course, if you talk about geothermal, Pak Drajad is more on the 9 to 11 cents or even 12 cents because, yeah, the technology complexity is, explorations is quite different. But then if we talk about the solar PV and wind, which I think Red already mentions, the backbone of the energy transitions is on the solar and wind and energy storage. It's not on geothermal. Unfortunately, it's not on hydro. Then we need to put more our resources actually to deploy more capital, more resources into this wind and solar and technology. And Pak Drajad, for example, just maybe can be crazy idea, but I mean every year we are producing like 600 million of ton of coal, right, Pak? And then 20-25% going to the DMO, domestic market obligations to PLN. What if we reduce the DMO to by 5%, like, which is equivalent to 30 million ton, and then the consumptions of coal in PLN will be reduced. But this 30 million ton, I think the coal entrepreneur, they will also happy because they can sell the coal with the higher price, like $100 compared to $60-70 of DMO price. Quickly, the government can cap like $1 billion actually just to reduce by this. And then on the other side, the coal consumptions will be reduced, and then it means that the health consequence of the coal generation is also lower, like lower subsidy on the BPJS side. So maybe, I don't know, Indef can make the study, 2 billion quick, and then 2 billion it can be like to build like, I don't know, 2 gigawatt, 3 gigawatt of solar and wind in 2-3 years, and then it can also create jobs, more opportunity for the millennials and Gen Z to work in the energy transitions, low carbon economy. And I hope it can help the 8% growth ambitions by the President-elect, Pak Drajad. Yeah.
That's really nice. That's, yeah, great idea.
That's the feel of Indef. Huh?
Yeah, Indef. We just throw it to Indef. Well, there's Pak Drajad here. That's what for. So, okay, maybe if you have any question, yes, please. We still have time.
So, thank you for the time, Pak Drajad. I think we hope that today will be the. Oh, sorry. Okay.
And please mention your name.
Yeah. My name is Yedi Mulia Permana from Udayana University. Pak Drajad, we know that today a lot of I'm startup enthusiast, and my focus on startup technology, green energy. So today a lot of startup get collapsed. It's about financing. So my question is how to support this startup from the government. I mean, such like the financing from or the investment to promote their idea to get support from the government. That's my questions. And I guess talking about the issue before, I guess we hope that Pak Drajad will be one of our ministry under Prabowo's administrations. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Yudi. Actually, I will be giving a lecture in the Faculty of Agriculture in Udayana tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's about startup, not about green energy. But responding to Pak Refi, yeah, that's one of the ideas to reduce DMO. But then also we need to realize that exporting our dirty energy to other countries doesn't show our responsibility as a member of the global world. But yes, we need to balance that one. I think that's why one of the discussion that we are about startup. Pak Yudi, well, actually that's my son, and he and his big brother actually got busted as well in a startup. We lost lots of money there. But I think it's part of the industries. I mean, it's something like that often happen, and I meet with a number of our technological wizards, and we still exploring some option. But Mas Gibran is very keen on circular economy and very keen on. Oh, by the way, Mas Gibran is our vice presidential elect, Professor Volz and Pak Constantino is President Jokowi's oldest son. He's very keen on startup, creative economy, and circular economy. I think we can discuss afterwards, yeah. But Pak Yudi, thank you.
Okay, the last but not least, Pak Drajad,
Okay.
just titip salam untuk Bang Zul.
Okay.
Fans here. So thank you so much. So because we have a limitation of our time, so it's a very fruitful discussion with you, with our distinguished speakers, Pak Drajad, Mas Refi, Prof. Uli, Ibu Lusianna, and also Rad. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your insights. Thank you for everything, and also for our distinguished attendees here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, so energy transition is a very complex issue. It is a global target, as well as Indonesia. Our government targeted a net zero emission in 2060. We have a lot and also complex challenge, but also opportunities in front of us, in front of our eyes. We should talk, and we should see from the point of views from the technical one, from the regulation, the political willingness, the financing, from the economic views. So it's very complicated, but I'm sure that all of us here, we are agreed that we are able to achieve and also to run this transition, especially in energy sector, because all of us dreaming that we're gonna live in the healthier and wealthier phase of life after this. So it's starting from the we shifting our behavior from the dirty one to the cleaner one. So especially in energy sector. So maybe that is all from us and from me as the moderator. I'm really sorry that if we have mistakes, or maybe we have some lags in operating this session. Again, thank you very much for your time. But before we close this, maybe we can have a picture together. Yeah. Okay. So maybe you can help us where we should stand, or maybe you can help us to arrange where to stand, and also with the attendees here. Gimana? Pembicara dulu. Okay, for the speakers first. So maybe you can dua di sini. Mas Imad, please come here. It's okay. Mas Imad, tolong dampingin Pak Drajad. So our prominent speakers in Zoom, we are going to take a picture, and tolong dong dibantu 3, 2, 1-nya. Masa aku pegang? Applause for us. So thank you, a very big applause for our prominent speakers here, and also from with all of us here in the room, where we should stand. Foto bareng dulu. Iya. Dengan attendees. Gimana? Konsepnya gimana? Di depan? Oke. Boleh. Oh, oke, dia ke atasin semua. Oke, sip. Boleh tolong dibantu? Di bawah panggung maksudnya? Oke. Oh, layer. Boleh maju teman-teman semua? Bapak Ibu. Mas. Ayo. Mas Imad dan Pak Drajad mungkin bisa di tengah. Oke. Oke. Yang di atas ya, speakers udah oke. Oke, masih bisa lagi di sebelah mana? Di sayap mana? Kiri, kanan? Oke. Aman? Aman? Oke. 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 One more time. Oke. Iya. Diarahin aja oleh fotografer ya. Ayo. Thank you so much, applause for us. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Thank you Prof. Uli, thank you Red, thank you Ibu Lucy.
Bye.
Aku nanti ngomong.